Hello there, everybody. Sabata92, aka Nightmare, and welcome back to Rose Guns Day's last season. In the last episode, we finally finished Chapter 1, and, so, how the hell do I explain this? Tequila had what one commenter kind of pointed out was a bit of an Ace Attorney level freak-out / meltdown. Needless to say, that was some of the silliest shit I've ever seen. I still find that to be, like, the most hilarious fucking thing that his hair is his weakness. That's the funniest shit I've ever seen. Now, unfortunately, it seems like Leo may end up having a target on his back after that little discussion with Richard, Cyrus, and the others. On top of that, I'm a little bit worried about Meryl's safety because she's gotten into contact with Zell, and Nina and Charles, and unfortunately Zell learned the truth about what happened to Oliver. And it seems like Meryl is she's even like, no, really, there's something wrong about all this. I'm legitimately concerned for her safety too. So regardless, let's throw ourselves in. Also, Jin is a treat. He really is.
No doubt in my mind.
That attack 1 year ago. I know it was a plot to make us fight each other and bring each other down. Still, I can't believe we haven't found any clues after a whole year.
It is an embarrassment, and I must apologize.
Hey, Shilong.
We still haven't found any evidence pointing to the culprit.
Alan let out a deep sigh and hung his head. He'd had absolutely no intention of blaming them, but he had apparently been unable to hide his irritation. A year had passed since then. He had been sure the great and mighty GDS would have figured out who the culprit was by now. During that year in China, he had kept waiting for the news that they had identified the culprit and avenged Meishu. However, the constant waiting had thrown his heart in turmoil, and at times he had sealed that inside his heart, sometimes acting as though he had forgotten about it all. Even though so many people shot at each other, and so many died, the culprit is still unknown? Is that even possible? Meiju-san, I imagine you haven't been just playing around this last year, right? Of course not. So why do we still have no leads on Yuki-chan's killer? Is there any culprit that couldn't be exposed, even by the information gathering power of Chinatown? Young Lord. I don't mind. Alan-kun is one of our countrymen. Alan-kun, we still don't have any evidence. But lately, we obtained a truly interesting piece of information. A truly interesting piece of information. When you think about it, any other answer was unthinkable from the very beginning. There are many highly trained and organized attackers. They use the modern weapons, had an escape route prepared, and the ability to plan beforehand and gather information for the attack. That leads us to only one answer. You don't mean... This is information from a high Chinese military official at the GHQ. The Second Staff Office, which is in charge of secret service organizations, has been keeping surveillance on a certain officer in the City 23 Occupying Forces HQ. Surveillance? Oh? And the target of their surveillance is Major Gabriel Kaburaya. Thank you! Oh my god! Thank you! They're catching on! He's the public order officer of City 23, who was assigned to that post last year. But in actual fact, he was the head of a secret service organization and secretly tasked with countering organized crime. His job was probably to get close to Primavera and integrate them into a network of US military spies. I don't really get it, but he's basically a big shot in some spy agency, right? A rough way of putting it, but yes.
he was apparently given permission to use extra-legal measures to approach Primavera. And when we went back through Gabriel Kaburaya's history, we discovered that he lost his family when they were caught up in an underworld feud. So, he has a grudge against the underworld? That's probably a safe assumption. However, there was never a trace of it in his later record. Perhaps it was like you and Richard. So, he was waiting all this time for a chance to take revenge? Most likely, the object of his revenge is not the individuals who killed his family, but the criminal underworld as a whole. Surely he kept his vengefulness hidden for over 20 years, as he waited for a chance to gain a post that would allow him to take that revenge. Having two underworld powers fight each other would make his revenge more efficient. And not only that, but he could make the heads of both camps suffer the same pain as he did. The pain of losing family. Gabriel Cabrera. There is no proof whatsoever. But it does all add up. This is probably the truth. Though because there was no physical evidence, it took a whole year before we could be certain. We know a thing or two about our opponent. We had to be cautious. I want you to understand that. Okay, at least the GDS is starting to figure it out. Yuki's true killer. The one he'd hated beyond measure. Keith was the one who shot her, but this was the person who had practically pushed Keith into doing it. Yuki's true killer. Even though his identity had been revealed, there was no further anger in Alan's heart, nor was there a sense of accomplishment. There was just a strange resignation, as though he was accepting Yuki's death again. The Yuki inside his heart smiled, nodded, and whispered to him. Good. That's enough. Don't you think it'd be stupid if the chain of revenge brought on endless wars? Rather than talking about killing people, let's talk about saving people and joining hands. Right, Yuki-chan. Her hand was definitely resting on Alan's shoulder. I like this. This is a very interesting little perspective here. Richard believes he's hearing the vengeful voices of Stella and Yuji, which, realistically, I guarantee that's not what he is hearing. I imagine Stella and Yuji are screaming at him to stop, but it's the influence of Gabriel's poison that's muddling the message. And here, we have a true message being received by a lost loved one. Alan, with his calmness, is able to actually hear Meishu loud and clear. Alan-kun. Aniki. There's no anger in my heart. I won't let the blood rush to my head and run off to raid the occupying forces HQ. Even if I did something that stupid, I'd just be riddled with holes. Yuki-chan would lose patience with me in the next world. There's a way I can have revenge. It's to make sure things never go his way again. We will avert a feud between the GDS and Primavera. We'll succeed in that and expose this guy. That will be Yuki and my revenge. A good revenge. I, Lee Meiju, will gladly participate in it. And I will sincerely support that revenge and assist you. A good revenge. It's weird, but seriously, whenever, with the context and the way that it's being portrayed here, this would be good revenge. Exposing blatant evil without staining the hands, of blood. We can only avoid a feud by proving the GDS was framed. But there's still no evidence that would let us do that.
Trust me, I've been looking around and they're honestly a tight bunch.
I know. We should probably tell him too.
Oh, right. Forgot about that.
What is it?
There is no evidence, but there is a person who could possibly provide testimony that would clear us.
Who's that?
The former man in charge of maintaining local public order, Captain Philip Butler.
I doubt it. He's... The way that Gabriel has treated him, it's like a large amount of the spark that he had was just drained and just put out. But if there's any chance, any slight chance we could get a hold of Butler without Gabriel knowing, which is probably less than a percentage chance, that might help out at least a little bit. With the appointment of Major Kaburaya, Captain Butler had been effectively kicked out of his position. Captain Butler was a man with plenty of dark secrets. The Major probably had some dirt on him. That's an understatement. By now, he wasn't being treated like a cat with a bell on its neck, but rather a chicken in a cage. Shaolon discovered that the captain was practically under house arrest on the 4th floor of the occupying forces HQ's western building. That floor was off limits to everyone not involved with the anti-organized crime team. They knew that he was under observation 24 hours a day, treated like little more than a prisoner of war.
And unfortunately, security is quite tight there.
Captain Butler probably knows too much.
About the truth of the crime?
Probably. According to Shaolon's investigations, the captain has given up resisting, but he doesn't seem to be obedient. I am sure he would give evidence against Gabriel Kaburaya's conspiracy.
I've heard the captain and the consigliere go way back. They should trust each other.
Exactly. If Captain Butler gives evidence about the conspiracy, our names will be cleared.
Sounds easy. All we needed to clear your names is to get Captain Butler, get the captain and consigliere together and start them talking.
Alan Kuhn, if it were that simple, we wouldn't be in such a fix.
Unfortunately, he's under 24-hour observation. I find it hard to believe he'll even have any time for that.
Don't be mad, Shaolon. But Alan Kuhn's way is the only one. While Butler has been held in the occupying forces HQ building, he's had few chances to go outside, and practically none recently. However, if we wait prudently for an opportunity...
I don't think we've got time to be that relaxed.
Why do you think that?
You vaguely picked up on it yourself, haven't you? Or maybe you don't understand. Particularly because you're a man who can stay calm and look at the big picture even after losing his sister. Please, don't take this the wrong way. But you should understand what I'm trying to say.
If the one-year anniversary of Meishu's death is drawing near, then so is the one-year anniversary of Stella's death.
Yeah. Even I feel my chest getting torn apart as that time approaches. I can't imagine how the consigliere feels after losing both Stella-san and Yuji-kun. If I had to deal with that unbearable feeling for two people instead of one,
He'd probably lose it.
it's likely that Primavera will move very soon. They knew that the incident where Meishu was shot was a put-up job by Primavera. That incident had occurred the day before Stella and Yuji's public funeral. For the Japanese as well, the one-year anniversary of death is an important event in memory of the dead. It would hardly be strange if Richard's vengefulness had been amplified to the point of bursting. If making Captain Butler testify is the only way to clear your name, then we don't have time to prudently wait for an opportunity.
I feel the same. But what will they do?
There's only one thing we can do.
on the 4th floor of the western building of the occupying forces HQ. The prince will save the princess trapped in the tower. You have courage, but how would you do that? I know that the GDS can't get involved. You can't rise sparking trouble with the US military if something goes wrong. But I'm not part of the GDS. Unfortunately, there was already word being spread around that you're a traitor. Like, seriously. That could really spell doom for you, dude. Damn it. I may be like family, but I don't wear the crest of the dragon. Well, after all this is over, I guess we could probably give you a dragon. If I'm alone, then even if I do happen to screw up, I just have to bite my tongue off. Alan-kun. Meiju-san. No. Aniki. I didn't come back to City 23 to play. Very soon, something will happen that Yuki-chan would never have wanted. And it'll probably be something that can never be undone. A lot of people from both countries will probably get dragged in. If that happens, I won't be able to face Yuki-chan in the next world. Do you stand a chance of success? Well, of course. I'll raise those chances as high as I can before I start. But there's no time. Let's move right away. Right away? When exactly will you do it? Now, right? Jesus, Alan. Chapter 2, Mission, Butler's Rescue. Oh, sweet Mother Mercy.
Ha! Colonel, welcome to Primavera.
Ooh, I fear boob haven't changed at all.
Oh? Hey, Colonel, you smell like the perfume of a woman I don't know. Colonel, that's so mean. And you said you wouldn't hide anything from Meryl.
You misunderstand. I wouldn't hide anything from you, Meryl John.
Really? Then tell me some funny secret stories and work again.
Tell us. Your secret stories are so interesting. I just love them.
Well, if you're asking for interesting secret stories today.
Ah. I see what they're doing. Info gathering.
Get them all drunketed. The first place that comes to mind as a location to hide Rose is a guest house for high U.S. military officials, In the Caleb era, she supposedly hid there when Captain Butler was keeping her safe.
That guest house is practically a U.S. military base. Even a dog couldn't sneak in without a pass. From what I've investigated, that looks like a no-go.
What do you mean?
I tried asking some of the girls patronized by U.S. military people who visit Primavera, but they couldn't pick up a hint of anything like that.
There was a guest house for U.S. military high officials in C-23, which was once used to hide Rose. It was equipped well enough to hide nobles and completely isolated from the outside world. It was under constant guard by a team of U.S. MPs, and no safer hiding place existed in C-23. Primavera had a close relationship with the occupying forces, so it had seemed likely that such a place might have been offered. But from what Nina's been able to investigate, there's no trace of that.
If Madame Rose had been hiding there for a whole year, that would have been some sort of rumor. But I haven't heard anything like that. Wouldn't they be keeping that top secret? That's impossible too. We've even got info on secret meetings between the Director General and the woman he's been cheating with. I can't imagine Madame Rose being a VIP guest for a year, and there never being a rumor about it.
So it isn't the U.S. military guest house.
In the harbor districts, there's a lot of hideout villains used to use there during the Caleb era. We've been eliminating them one by one, but found no clues. I can't imagine they'd stuff someone like Madame Rose in a dark place like that for a whole year.
Yeah. And considering she was able to exchange letters, she's probably somewhere with a bit more access to culture. It wasn't a dirty hideout used by some villain.
Which means it can't be anywhere in City 23.
I agree. She's probably being held in a hotel or something similar, but it isn't one in City 23.
If it was a City 23 hotel, the information network of Ladies of the Evening would have spied it sooner or later. The only ones who know where she is are the Consigliere, the Grand Boss, and Aniki Wayne.
Wayne-san has been by Madame Rose's side this whole time, hasn't he?
That's what we've heard.
If Wayne-san has been tamed by the Consigliere, just like Madame Marrow says, then I don't think it's possible for Wayne-san to be confining and observing Madame Rose all by himself.
Yeah. They'd need several guards there. And not just for a day or two. It's been a whole year, so they must have a pretty large number of people.
Where are those people coming from? If only the Consigliere and the Grand Boss know about this, then they can't be coming from Primavera.
And they aren't from the US military either. Could it be a family from another city?
Even if the GDS and Ba Xing Bang are out, it's possible they might be offered a hideout by someone they're on friendly terms with, like the Satomi Alliance in Chiba.
As to that, Madame Merrill has already contacted Amanda-san in Chiba to check. The answer is no. Satomi Alliance knows nothing about Madame Rose's whereabouts. Well, if we're looking for other possible groups that might have friendly relations with Primavera, there's the Castiglione family and the Orlando brothers.
If the Consigliere's rallying cry is to expel all foreigners, it's unlikely he'd leave Madame Rose in a foreigner's hands.
Yeah, I don't think that's likely either.
Are there any Japanese organizations besides the Satomi Alliance that Primavera might rely on?
Japanese organizations in the countryside, besides the Satomi Alliance? I've never heard of any. But it's just possible.
What's just possible?
It might be with someone without a connection to Primavera, but with a personal connection to the Consigliere or Grand Boss.
Can we investigate that?
I can now.
Oh yeah, you do it, Charles! Please don't die. On the VIP floor of the casino, stout gentlemen smoked expensive cigars as they played cards and roulette. Because of the era, there were quite a few people who'd managed to make easy money. However, they weren't fools, so they didn't run wild where the poor laborers could see them. Because of that, they wanted to brighten their cloudy days as much as they pleased in a place where only rich people could enter. Here it is! Here it is! Here it is! You can thank my excellent luck for drawing an ace right then.
Yeah, that's incredible, Chairman.
Chairman, what would you like to bet?
I'm in top form today. I can totally make it with this god. I'm all in.
It's a huge challenge.
Overly excited after winning one time after another, the man pushed his mountain of chips off forward. The card was an ace of spades. He stood a very good chance of winning. In front of this man who was praying for the next card to have a good number for him, the dealer, Charles, smoothly laid down a card. By now, Charles had further enhanced his genius-level dexterity, allowing him to manipulate cards at will. A dealer's job is more than just handing out cards. A dealer is an entertainer. He gives the customers a marvelous balance of victory and losses, creating a stimulating span of time where they can forget reality. In order to do that, a dealer must be able to control the customer's game itself at will, say nothing of the cards themselves. Come on, come on, come on, come on! A face card, come on!
Your fortune's looking quite impressive today, Chairman.
Oh, can you tell that sort of thing? Oh, how can you tell?
When you're in front of a customer overflowing with good fortune, you can see them dance.
Oh? Dance?
You can see the cards dance.
Charles' smoothly flowing fingers placed a card in front of the customer. That simple act was done with a beautifully graceful action.
As though the viewer was witnessing fine art.
I can tell before you flip it. This card will symbolize your fortune tonight.
Whoa! Okay, I'm gonna turn over now. Here we go!
Gah! Incredible! A king of spades!
Did you see that? Tonight, I'm the king of spades!
Congratulations! A big victory for Chairman Yoshida!
Charles pushed a massive pile of chips back to the customer, who couldn't stop laughing, as though spring had come in his life. Okay then, a toast! James Coon, mind if I borrow him for a moment? Here's the one who brought me victory. I'd like to buy him a drink.
You honor us with your words. Charles Coon, go with him.
Yes, boss.
Okay, over here. I'll have to have another drink. And with that, cheers!
Cheers!
Good Lord! You gonna be drunk tonight, boy?
Oh, me? I've known Richard Coon for a long, long time. I borrowed quite a lot of his money. He charged a ton of interest, so he must have made a mint off of me.
But Chairman, I imagine you've raked in far more than those using those funds.
Chairman, that's incredible!
Man, do I feel excellent tonight.
The Consigliere used to be a moneylender, right? He made it big over and over again as the owner of a small business, and now he's Consigliere Primavera. I'm sort of interested in the old days, when he was still struggling.
Right now, Richard's a huge boss in the criminal underworld. But believe it or not, he ran into a ton of trouble in the old days. I've known him for a long time, after all. I know everything about Richard Coon's past. I'm a viable target.
This is a bit too easy.
Oh my god, it might just be a bit too easy. That's moderately concerning. Ooh, I like these backgrounds. Shizuoka.
Apparently an old business partner of the Consigliere set up shop in Shizuoka. Right now he's a big fish in the Shizuoka criminal organization. Now that smells.
This information is huge. Could you investigate any further?
Of course! An honored customer coming this Saturday knows a lot about it. He's pretty fond of me. I'm sure he'll tell me.
Oh? Huh, so I guess boy dealers do more than deal out cards?
Of course. Entertain the guests is part of my job.
Oh my, what have you done, Charlesy? Huh? Huh? You mean...
Why are you guys looking at me all creepy?
They got the wrong idea. Oh my god. Oh. They're visiting his grave.
It's over there.
Zell came back. Oliver.
Sorry I'm late. I'm back now.
There wasn't a single bullet left in Oliver's gun. He fought bravely until the very last moment.
I'm sure he wanted Wayne's son, or maybe Zell, to see him doing good. The procession Oliver was guarding was completely wiped out, right?
Yeah. They got massacred. But fortunately, the Consigliere they got was a body double. If that had been the real Consigliere, it probably would have been worse than death for Oliver.
God damn it, I hate this. This hurts so goddamn much.
guess that's the only bright spot in the end.
I have a feeling that Zell's probably piecing it together that Oliver was thrown away.
Those brats are such a pain.
Well, dang. Curiosity kills a cat. Don't you fucking dare!
Oh, it's the Grand Boss and Maurice-san. What's wrong? Scheming something again?
Fool, we're talking about protecting Primavera.
I swear to God, if you lay a fucking finger on them.
We were just talking about what to do about some scheming brats.
Oh.
Some survivors of Wayne's gang of brats seem to have sniffed out Madame Rose's location.
Wayne's brats have good noses. Can't let our guards down. Even an anthole can collapse an embankment.
Aren't you worrying too much? There's no way kids could find Madame Rose.
Do you know about the wandering dogs?
Don't remember ever hearing a dumb name like that.
Keith!
They're a special team Wayne built once out of brats with particularly keen noses.
You weren't around at the time, so you probably don't know, but they've got quite a few big accomplishments to their name.
In the end, the Consigliere even let them attend the pasta gathering. In other words, even people like that were acknowledged by Richard.
Keith's eyebrows twisted visibly and unhappily.
I heard that in the end, they even made Madame Rose's unofficial personal guard at the Consigliere's recommendation.
Well, there was some trouble during the soy sauce war. They went back to square one after that.
Maybe they were the ones strengthening the Richard back then. Not you.
Maurice poked fun at Keith, knowing that he wanted Richard to hold him in higher regard than anyone else.
Sort of feels like unpleasant people are popping up all over the place lately. Yeah, I doubt we'll be getting all chummy with Leo either.
Leo is our advisor. I won't let you look down on him.
But he's definitely going to get in Richardson's way.
Keith!
Let him talk. Before he gets in Richardson's way, I'm going to end Leo Shishigami.
At that instant, a heavy object nearly grazed Keith's eye and plunged it into the wall.
Whoa, that was dangerous.
I see your arms as terrifying as ever.
A suited arm was sticking in from the darkness of the hallway. It was Alfred's arm, which had thrown the knife with a keenness sharper than its blade.
Oh? Leo is my prey. If you're planning to snipe Leo, then I'll snipe you first. Yes.
What's going on? I don't get it.
If those wandering dogs are gonna make a mess for my friend Richard, then I will clean them up.
Oh, okay. Great. Brats like that aren't worth my time.
I've got no interest in dealing with the brats either.
Why does everyone around here piss me off so much?
Don't poke fun at him. The friend of my friend is my friend. I was just playing a little. I had a little listen to your talking. When I heard my friend was in trouble, I couldn't ignore it.
I feel bad for them, but we'd better make our move before this starts getting messy.
You fucking lay a finger on them, I will kill you myself!
Pardon my French.
If we're gonna erase them, we've got to do it while Wayne is away.
Do we really have to erase them?
You said it yourself. An anthole can collapse an embankment.
Okay then. I shall execute them. Are you sure? We can leave it to you.
Cyrus! Stop! Now this is impressive. We'll get to see the killer Crazy Alfred at work again. I get it.
Take care of it before trouble starts, okay?
No! God damn it!
Yes, Grand Boss. I was getting bored anyway. I'm a hitman. Hurting shops and getting their money isn't my real job. Do it quietly. Don't make too much of a scene. I will give the children sniffing around for Madame Rose a bye-bye present from me.
Oh, gentlemen, were you having some sort of meeting?
Oh, my friend. We were just chatting, kind of turning ourselves into literal scum, but whatever. Don't worry about it. Why are you dragging a punk like that around?
Hey there, Marie-san, like totally.
Collecting money?
Those who laugh for $1 will cry for $1. Every bit of money counts.
Richard-san, thank you very much, like totally.
With that, I doubt they'll be able to hold out a moment longer. If they overwhelm you with numbers, you must attack from a different dimension.
Richard-san, thank you, like totally.
Stella is pleading with me. She wants their blood spilt on her grave. The time for revenge is near. We cannot have too much money.
That shouldn't bitch and better watch out, like totally. That happy friends game of yours will get wiped out a single slip of paper from Richard-san, like totally.
What? Tequila held up the envelope of documents Richard had given him. That was their trump card against the Dawn shopping district. What did they do? What's up with this slip of paper? I can't read all those tiny letters.
You see, these are the contracts for your loans, like totally.
Well, why would a punk have something like that?
And not just for your bakery. These are the loan contracts from all of you in the Dawn shopping district, like totally.
That's... why? This could be trouble. Why does someone like that have those?
Hey, don't think we just walk around stupidly leveling false charges all the time, like totally. Our concilier is super clever, and you're no match for him. Like totally.
Hey, that's... But why?
The businessmen started muttering to each other. Apparently that thing Tequila held was more than a joke.
So, we can't resolve this just by beating the crap out of those punks.
I hate to say it, but that's how it is.
President, did you borrow money from these punks?
The one we borrowed money was much more merciful.
Everyone in the Dawn shopping district has significant loans with a certain elderly landowner. Certain...
They aren't loans. They're a huge debt of gratitude we owe. Without old Amikawa's compassion, which is deeper than the ocean, we wouldn't have been able to start up our shops again, much less from the Dawn shopping district.
Who's this old Amikawa?
He's a really huge landowner. He managed... Who managed the area around the Edo River.
There used to be a pompous geezer called Amikawa Shoten.
Hey, Jean! There's no way to speak out of old Amikawa. Without that man's generous heart, this Dawn shopping district would have never existed.
Tokyo's old downtown district covers Koto City, Sumida City, and Arakawa City. At the time, City 23, old Edogawa district, was a corner of the Tokyo metropolis, but it wasn't thought of that way in old Edo times. It used to be the nearest rural area to Edo, where farmers and fishermen eked out a living, and where enough natural scenery remained that the shogun would visit to practice falconry.
The Amikawa family was a big landowner that possessed this vast area around the Edo River. At the time, they'd been known as Lord Itogawa. They had tried to make the land prosper with commerce, beyond just farming and fishing, and had been generous in their support. Then came the war and the Great Disaster. All the businessmen had suffered devastating blows, and while they hung their heads without even the funds to rebuild, old Amikawa had reached out a hand of salvation to them.
Old Amikawa was gravely ill due to an injury he suffered in the Great Disaster.
He gathered us around his sickbed and told us this.
I'll lend you as much money as you need, so I want you to revitalize the city no matter what happens.
After saying that, and before he could say the city's revival, he passed away.
I see. So he lent you money for free? However, while small sums of money aren't a problem, the borrowing and lending of large sums needs to satisfy the requirements of the law. So they had drawn up contracts in the form of loans to make it all official. And sure enough, those contracts outlined the loan repayment deadlines or methods, detailing the interest and penalties to be applied for lack of payment. However, old Amikawa had only drawn up the contracts as a formality. He left this world after saying he would extend all repayment deadlines indefinitely, allowing them to pay them back whenever they became prosperous again. Those people went on to revive their businesses at the Dawn Shopping District. Amikawa sounds like a great man! Like, damn! And now Richard's just... The name Dawn came from the first character in old Amikawa's real name, Shoten. It was done so that they would never forget the favor they owed to that man. And now they're just...
In other words, that Amikawa geese only let you guys have a few freebies when it came to paying it off. Like, totally. That doesn't change the fact that you borrow money and have to return it. Like, totally. I'm gonna wring your neck. Like, totally. Now that old Amikawa's passed away, what happened to the bond of debt?
There's a distant relative of the Amikawa family in Aomori or somewhere. That person should have inherited the bond of debt.
That Amikawa-san in Amamori is a truly wonderful person.
They inherited old Amikawa's spirit and said they'd extend the repayment indefinitely.
So, why does this man have the bond of debt in his hands?
I went to Aomori and bought up all the loans.
Akutoku.
You're... Akutoku!
Well, his face definitely suits his name. It's got Vice written all over it.
This man is a disgrace to the Dawn Shopping District. He acted like our representative and tried to steal that geezer Amikawa's money by force.
I was just trying to invest your money and make it grow! And now you call me a swindler?
Shut up, swindler! Even you received so much from old Amikawa when he was alive.
Oh, I do, old Amikawa, but I've got nothing but grudges for you people. All this time I've been waiting for a chance to get back at you.
Okay, so we need to figure out where this man is and then brutally beat him within an inch of his life.
Like, totally? And there you have it. Like, totally. Mr. Akutoku went all the way to Amori, piled up a whole bunch of money, and bought up the loans. Like, totally.
Akutoku pretended to represent all of the Dawn Shopping District and made contact with the Amikawa family in Aomori. We can't rely on old Amikawa's charity forever. Our shopping district has gathered up money, so we'd like to buy off those loans. The Amikawas and Aomori were overjoyed since this was a chance to make a lot of money off loans that normally wouldn't earn them anything. And when a representative of the Dawn Shopping District told them they had already recovered, the Amikawas had no reason to refuse. Of course, Primavera had prepared all of the money. Tequila had encouraged Akutoku, Akutoku had drawn up the plan, and Richard had approved it. In this way, Akutoku and Tequila successfully gained something vital to the Dawn Shopping District.
I've never forgotten my grudge against all of you for calling me a swindler.
Are you saying you did this to get back at us? What a coward!
You used to be such a good person. Where'd you go so wrong?
Shut up! This all started when you got jealous that I was raking it in! And when I proposed that we all make money by sharing those profits, you called me a swindler! I'm so sad! Oh, woe is me!
So anyway, our enemy is that slip of paper, is it?
That's right! Even your punch can't defeat these loans, like totally!
So? What are you telling us to do?
Ever since you all borrowed money from old Amikawa, you haven't paid back a cent. So in accordance with the loan, I'm gonna take all your shops. Hand your shops over right now!
That's so heartless! Old Amikawa must be crying! Aren't you ashamed of yourself?
Shut up! Then why don't you bring that crying old Amikawa here? I'll cry and bow too!
Seriously, what the hell? Hey, Mr. Vice, you're free to chase us away. But how do you plan to make money off an empty shopping district?
Oh, like totally! And now, Primavera has a merciful offer for you!
If they couldn't pay off their unpaid loans right away, then according to the contract, they would have to hand over their shops. However, if they regularly paid support money to Primavera's Countryman Mutual Assistance Project, their repayment on the loan would continue to be postponed indefinitely.
You think that scum could sink so low?
I don't know. I mean, Richard and already Cyrus and Maurice, yeah, they're already doing a good job rolling in the mud right now.
Even if we had money to pay back to that geezer Amikawa, why the hell would we pay Primavera?
Hey, Jean, be quiet! Pardon us. If we pay support money, you'll let us keep our shops, yes?
Like totally? Even I get tired of having to beat you up all the time. What do you say about settling this all now? Like totally.
We'll give you time to think. Will you fold up your shops or pay Primavera? Will you bow down and apologize for calling me a swindler? Or will you bring me a crying old Amikawa?
Choose whichever you like. Like totally.
I'm going to kill you, and I'm going to enjoy it.
Hey, Jean, looking pretty pathetic there, huh? Like totally? You just gathered the blockheads together and started acting like a leader. Now you're suddenly stuck, like totally.
Shut up! We don't know if we're really stuck or not yet.
Our conciliere says you need 3 things to be a leader. I'll tell you specially right now, like totally.
Influence, wealth, and force, right?
Bingo! Like totally! Jean, you're just a part-timer with no influence at all. And you're a pauper without any wealth. You're enough of a shrew to have a bit of force, but that's it. You're not at all qualified to be a leader. There's no way you'll become a Jeune d'Arc of the Dawn Shopping Center, like totally.
God damn. I want to beat them within an inch of their life. I've never...
Ooh, I feel violent right now. I'm feeling incredibly violent.
Oh, horrible.
And just when we'd finally gotten the shopping district back on track.
Is the money for your unpaid debts beyond what it could possibly handle? Yeah, it is. Even if we did pay up, we wouldn't have enough money to maintain our shops.
It'd be much cheaper to keep paying the support fees Tequila proposed. Still, I can't bear to bow my head to that Akutako person. How could he spit in the face of old Amikawa like this?
He's saying you'll have to bow to him or hand over the shop, right?
Sure, I'll go bow my head now. I finally got my bakery back on track. I can't hand it over now.
Dude, these shops are practically the only assets we have. If we give them up, we'll have nothing left.
We can't hand over our shops after all we've been through.
Indeed.
We should count ourselves fortunate that we didn't have to pay up what we owed before now. Put it that way, perhaps paying support money is something that can't be helped.
But there's no way around it. This is the one thing we can't.
No, we can't do that, people! We may have had a contract when it came to those loans, but there's no limit to their threats. If we fold now, they'll keep asking for money without end.
I agree. Even if you accept their deal, there's no guarantee that they won't threaten you again.
Hey, shut up, you two! What option is there other than paying up and bowing?
If you do as they say, you might be alright for a while. But they'll definitely come again demanding support money, or approval money, or whatever they want to call it.
I know that! But they won't let us go under either! After all, we're the chickens laying golden eggs! And they don't get anything by killing us!
And how did that work out during the Caleb era? What did they do to the chicken?
If the going gets tough, they'll squeeze you down to the last drop. Primavera needs as much money as it can get for the feud with the GDS.
It's going to be another Mafia feud. I can't believe Primavera is going to become the second Caleb.
Even if you do pay up, that won't bring peace. Instead, they'll use your money to buy guns and make a mess all across the city. Everyone! Paying the money isn't our only solution! And we mustn't give in to them so easily. We have to refuse them together. If you try to jump forward first and save just your own shop, we'll lose our solidarity again. We've got to stick together and reject their threats.
Shut up, stupid John!
Ow! You don't hit a lady. What the fuck, man?
What are you deciding for? Are you a company president? Are you a manager? You're just a mere sales girl. It doesn't matter to you whether the shop goes under or something happens in the shopping district. But our fortunes and lifestyles are on the line. You aren't even part of this.
President! Ow, ow, let go!
You're an outsider. We don't need your opinion. First off, you aren't a representative or leader. Since when did you represent us?
With his arms made strong by years of bread making, the president lifted Jun by the back of the collar, pushed open the sliding door leading outside, and threw her out.
Ow! President!
Come on, out with you! You're an outsider! Come on, you're the bodyguard, get out!
Sure thing. Snap. The sliding door was closed. Jun, who had landed on her butt, rose to her feet while wiping off the dirt. She hung her head dispiritedly, in a way that wasn't at all like her. Hey, you okay?
So, I'm not even part of this, huh?
Don't worry about it. Since you work here, you're definitely a part of this.
No. I ran away from being a part of this.
Jun?
I'm not everyone's representative. I'm not a leader. Because I ran away from my job of keeping everyone together, no matter what words I say, they won't reach anyone's heart.
Small drops of rain started to appear in the cloudy sky. However, Jun looked up at that sky, her mind racing. Her expression was filled with some kind of regret and resolution.
John,
Yeah,
I'm going to get home and get ready. And then let's head out.
head out where?
Around. To a few places. Let's go and take back a fate that I must fulfill.
Ro-san, the rain is getting stronger. Go back to the car.
Rain-kun,
Yes?
I think that I really wasn't a woman well suited to being madam.
That's not true. And even if you weren't well suited to it, I think you overcame that handicap after all your experiences as madam.
Even so, I think I was an immature madam, with only a few years of experience after gaining that position.
Everyone's immature. If you put it that way, human life is eternally immature.
No. People in a position to lead others must not be immature. Because the cost of immaturity affects the fates of a great many people.
I also may have brought a lot of comrades to their deaths because of my immaturity.
Hey, we aren't allowed to be immature. A madam should be a person who has those qualifications from the start. Talent, or maybe it's education and environment. Only a person suited for the position of madam should be allowed to accept that title. That's why my sin is so great. Even though I knew I was immature, until the time I was shot and wounded, I let my immaturity run wild and ended up throwing the fates of so many into chaos.
That's not true. Being wounded by such things was merely the heavy responsibility of being madam.
At the very least, Amanda-san was more qualified than me. She was a school teacher, and she had a lot of experience teaching and guiding people. Meryl was wonderfully qualified with her charm and resilience. Stella's clever wisdom made her an excellent candidate, too. I did have the ability to mediate between them, but that doesn't make me qualified to be madam.
You still have qualities that...
The madam doesn't have time to waste on caring for people. She needs to have the ability to simply stand at the front and lead people with her back. I was never fit to be madam. But I couldn't quit either.
Whether you're qualified or not, you are the madam, Rosan.
That's wrong. I should have kept on waiting. In order to pass the position on to someone who is truly qualified to be madam, I'm sure of it. Someone who is born with the fate of standing in front of the people, believing in that mission their whole life. I'm sure someone like that will appear soon. When I meet that person, I'm sure I'll finally be freed from this sinfulness.
Her making... Okay. So I imagine the moment that Rose possibly meets Jun and realizes that Jun is probably the one that is worthy of being madam, that's whenever she will choose. That's the one that she will choose to pass it on to. Rosan.
How many people have had their fates thrown into chaos because of an immature woman like me? I'm sure this proves that I don't even have the right to regret all that has happened. Hopefully, when a madam with all the qualifications inherits everything, I want her to make it appear I never existed in the first place. I want her to erase the shameful, sinful days where I was an immature madam. It's tough, leading people.
I thought of Madame Rose as a saint who rose up in response to the era. Even if she didn't feel that way at first, I was sure she felt so after becoming madam. However, I'm sure everyone came to her one-sidedly for support. Like me. Since she was kind-hearted and wanted to live up to the expectations of those around her. I'm sure she acted the part of the madam they all wanted. Even though I'd sworn to offer my whole life to her and thought I understood her better than anyone else. On that day, I realized it was just my conceit. This entire time she'd been worrying and suffering. And not only could I not accept that, but I couldn't even support or understand it either. So for the first time, I understood her and prayed. Prayed for the still unseen madam chosen by the heavens. To quickly free her.
Wayne-kun, if you still think of me as the madam, I have just one order.
Yes, Oro-san.
I have no guard I can trust and relax around more than you. And I know you're a tight-lipped person who can accept it even when I open my heart to you like this. If you meet a true madam,
Yes.
support that person from the bottom of your heart. I'm sure that person will need you.
I couldn't help but look at the sky of cold rain, covering my face with the droplets. However, this was surely the greatest praise she could have given me. With hot drops trailing down my face, I answered her. As I looked up and beyond the rainy sky, I was sure that she wanted her very existence to be erased. However, that alone couldn't be allowed, and I understood it clearly. Someday, people would appear who would understand that she was the true madam and praise her. Till that day, someone would have to remember her great achievements. I thought that surely this was the fate, the mission demanded of me by the heavens that brought me to her.
Damn.
Oh god. No, we're back here now.
The captain's totally worn out these days.
He's literally the mage's pet. It's hardly surprising. And he's been confined to this floor for a whole year. Except when the mage brings him outside, he isn't even allowed to lay foot on the stairs.
He's always under observation, whether he's eating, or using the shower, or using the bathroom. I'd go insane after 3 days of that. I know the captain knows too much, but why all of this? They could just make up some crime to accuse him of and throw him in jail.
And that's what makes the Major so creepy. Major hates the Mafia and people who make use of them.
He's probably trying to punish the captain for being in bed with Primavera for so many years. Even a prison has more privacy than this. What a horrible punishment.
Having his freedom stolen for a year and being kept under close observation was treatment on the level of torture. Even some of Gabriel's subordinates were starting to sympathize with this worn-out butler. However, while they sympathized, they had to quietly and mercilessly obey Gabriel's orders. They had to continue blocking all communication between Butler and the outside world. Perhaps they had pity on Butler, because they delivered him letters, though only from his family. Of course, they only delivered letters to him. They didn't let him respond. Even so, they believed these letters from the homeland soothed his heart, if only for a short time. But perhaps even those became chains holding Butler down. Because they brought news of his sister living a life full of happiness even though her ceremony kept getting delayed for various reasons.
And I won't let this demon lay a finger on your happiness.
The entire large fourth floor of the occupying forces HQ Western building was devoted to Gabriel's anti-organized crime department. There were always guards on that floor, preventing anyone who wasn't supposed to be there from entering. Even the Director General couldn't use the toilet there without Gabriel's permission. Can't capture shall.
Never thought I'd be breaking into here. You can still withdraw now.
If I do, something's gonna happen that can never be undone.
Do you have the plan and layout memorized?
Of course!
If you mess up now, there won't be a chance to save you.
I know. But this is my Yuki-chan's revenge. Of course, I hate this Gabriel guy. But I'm less concerned about whether he lives or dies, and more concerned about whether things go as he's got planned.
Dead men tell no tales. At the current moment, we obviously can't let the captain die, but we mustn't kill the major either.
They knew Gabriel was keeping Butler under house arrest. There's no way he was in that situation of his own will. If they could rescue him, he would surely listen to them. Richard would listen to Butler. If he heard the truth of that crime from Butler's mouth, the misunderstanding with the GDS would be resolved. However, in actual fact, it would probably be almost impossible to rescue a man confined as Butler practically was. Yeah. This was the headquarters of the occupying forces in City 23. If anyone even grew suspicious, it'd probably all be over. In this era, MPs would fire without hesitation, even inside an HQ building. If something went wrong, the GDS couldn't afford to have the US military even more against them than they already were. As a result, the direct rescue itself would have to be done by Alan alone. The Chinese man being arrested at occupying forces base was something the GDS had to avoid at all costs. However, Alan was fully aware of all the danger. Even so, he had to do this. Beyond his talent as a sniper, Alan had abnormal courage and fighting experience. Nearly everyone in the GDS could only speak Chinese, but Alan could speak Japanese. The fact that he could only communicate with Butler, who couldn't speak Chinese, was a huge point. Once he snuck in, he'd be keeping quiet the whole time, so it didn't matter that he didn't speak English. Of course, Meiju had prepared beforehand so that they would be able to back Alan up in various ways. He'd offered all kinds of support, including information and a map of the building. Even if an alarm went up and everything went to hell, as long as Alan could get Butler outside, a means of escape had been set up. He had even been given a cutting-edge silenced pistol used by Chinese military special forces. Damn, that's some good GDS setup right there. Of course, if he shot it, he'd be half dead already. In case the worst happened, he had even been given a suicide pill. Damn, they gave him all the works. Thanks for everything. But it feels like I've become a spy.
Only you will sneak into that floor. But we will back you up using all we can muster. Shaolon will also support you and aid you as much as possible.
Well, to be fair, I didn't agree to this, but considering he's part of the family, I certainly have no problems. I'll be counting on you, Shorty. You call me Shorty again and I'll rip your dick off. Alan, who had already spent many days with the GDS, knew full well about the many skills packed into her small body. She would climb on the outer walls, becoming Alan's eyes and ears from the outside and providing support. However, it was raining, unfortunately. It'd be hard to find footholds. Even she didn't want to die. She would support him as much as possible, but it had been explained to him beforehand that she would be limited. I get it. Even I wouldn't want to have to escape carrying both Shaolon and the captain. Did you just call me fat? She said that's my line. That is not what I said, you bastard! Alan didn't know how to read lips, and Shaolon didn't speak Japanese. However, they learned a minimum level of hand signals and were capable of understanding each other enough that it wouldn't inhibit them during this operation. Ever since the day they had decided to rescue Butler, the two of them had worked on his plan and trained together. Nice. Okay. That actually seems like a pretty damn good place for us to go ahead and end it for right now. I want to tackle this full steam in the next video. Okay. So, our next mission, rescuing Butler. And on the other side, it seems like Jun and Leo are also planning their own operation. And on the other side, Richard and Cyrus have dug themselves so far in the mud that they're willing to even sacrifice Nina and Charles as well. That's, and even Zell too. That's just fucking great. There's good things happening, and then there's legitimately awful things happening, and I don't know how to feel about it. It throws good stuff, and then it throws bad stuff at me, and makes me feel legitimately concerned. I am screaming mentally right now, sincerely hoping that they're going to be okay, and that this operation is successful, but I have a sick feeling there's a possibility that Butler might end up getting killed, and there's a possibility that Gabriel was spinning the operation to make it look like the GDS did it. I mean, technically the GDS is trying to pull up this operation to save Butler, but you guys get what my point. They will probably, Gabriel is conniving. He will probably spin, if this fails, he will spin this in any operational way to make it appear like the GDS has made a move, and just lay things in his hand. I'm legitimately worried. Like, seriously, it's like Gabriel is playing like 5-dimension chess or some shit. Regardless, thank you all very much for watching. I'm worried, and I'll see you guys in the next video.